Hello and welcome to my channel. This is my second video on here, and today I'm going to be talking about the time we were robbed, me and my family were robbed, and had all our stuff absolutely taken. So the story starts, well, it was around 2009, I believe it was 2009. We had left one window open, stupid, and it was small windows. There weren't like, there were the kind of windows that were like thin, like that, so a person couldn't really get through them. Probably a child could, but a person couldn't. And that's how we assumed the person got in, or obviously we left our keys in the door at night, so someone could have got their hand through and unlocked it through the post box, letterbox. But we're not sure how it happened. Not sure how they got in, but we assumed that. So I woke up, I was getting woken up by my mum that morning. I was ready to go to school. I was still in primary school. I was about 8 years old at the time. So my mum was waking me up, and usually obviously my alarm's gone off, my brother's woke me up, someone's waking me up for school. But this morning it was my mum waking me up. I realised she hadn't gone to work, so I'm like, what's happening? That was my first thought, like, why is my mum, you know, in my room waking me up when she should be at work? And then she just looks at me and says calmly, she's like, oh yeah, well, we've been robbed, so when you go downstairs, don't be too shocked. And then she said, would you like to go to school today, or would you like to stay at home? So I just said, I'd like to stay home, because I didn't really want to go to school with my mind being like, oh my god, we've been robbed and I'm going to school. So I decided not to go, and my mum I just looked at her and I said, well, if they took my watch, I was really young at the time, and it was literally a watch from Claire's, which a person shouldn't really care about, but I just said, had they took my watch? And she said that they did, and I was obviously a bit upset, but my mum was like, it's okay, everything's gonna be fine, like, we're gonna sort it. So I was like, okay, fine. So I asked her like, what's happened? And she said that obviously my parents go to work about 4:30 in the morning. They still do to this day, still at the same job. She said that she'd gone downstairs and all the cupboards in the kitchen were absolutely wide open, which is really rare, but she assumed that my brother, who's 6 years older than me, had gone down in the middle of the night to look through something to find something to eat or find a snack or whatever. But she said that there was something off. We had a fireplace, and on the fireplace was a camera, some jewellery and stuff like that, and she'd noticed that the camera wasn't there. She was a bit iffy. At the time it was really weird. This house, you had to put the fridge in your living room. So my mum had gone to the living room to go get some milk for her coffee that morning, and the TV was gone, the laptop was gone, everything was gone, and at that point she realised that we had been robbed in the middle of the night when we'd all been in the house. So thankfully nothing happened to any of us, although we were all in the house asleep. Obviously they came in whilst we were all there. They must have known our day-to-day plan, they must have planned around it, because there was no way someone would have been able to rob us unless they didn't watch us for a while to know what we did. Like, the times were really staggered. So obviously I would go to school, I'd walk to school at 8 in the morning, my brother would go, for example, at 8:30 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning. It really depended. My parents would leave the house at 4:30, so it was a constant. The times were really weird, so someone would have had to know and figured out what, like, our times and our schedule to be able to break into our house. Another stupid thing we'd done that somewhat gave someone probably an easier access to the house is we'd leave the curtains open, and with the light on during night time you can see everything into everyone's house, you can see what they're doing. So they must have watched us from somewhere or another. But so my parents realised we'd been robbed. The car was gone, everything was gone, but my mum's bag was hung on the door handle, and the door was open, it was the kitchen door. But because the way it was open, they didn't see her bag behind the door. If they saw that, they would have been able to take all our identification, all our credit cards, everything, all our money. But thankfully they didn't see it, they couldn't find it. They took the car, they took the TV, they took all the jewellery, they took my bag of kids' makeup, because obviously they'd assumed that it was adults' makeup and not kids, because it was a really big bag of makeup for a child, so you're not going to assume it's a kid's bag. And so my dad and brother decided to go to the police station that morning. Obviously it's 2009, so they decided to walk there. We're Polish, so they couldn't ring a taxi. They didn't really know any good taxi numbers, so they walked. It wasn't too far. And on the way to the police station, they had found our car in what I would call an apartment allotment kind of building area. Obviously it's a lot of apartments in one. It's quite enclosed, but there's no gates, it's not gated, and our car's just in there, like parked. And they rang my mum and me and obviously said, oh, you're gonna have to come and give us a spare key to the car because we have found the car in town. So we got our car back, thankfully, and used it for the day, but we couldn't leave anything in it because they'd obviously have the keys, so we couldn't risk them finding us again. And basically we decided to obviously be really careful. We got police involved and they came to try and take fingerprints, but technology wasn't as great at the time. It's advanced a lot in the last 10 years, so they couldn't really find anyone. They really couldn't, and we wasn't insured, so everything that was taken from us we completely lost. Like we just had to start all over again, really. And they took fingerprints, nothing happened, no one got found, and we was constantly like, there were second-hand shops in town, so we would look in the shops to see if some of our stuff has been sold into there, and they never came back. But my parents slept downstairs with a knife just to protect me and my brother because I was scared they were going to come back. We were scared they were going to come back the next day, because obviously that's what you would fear when you've just been robbed. So then they rang 1 or 2 days after, and it was like, if you want your car or if you want, you know, your laptop or anything like that, they was like, you're gonna have to pay us this amount. My dad said, my car's already on my drive, and obviously with that police involved, they're not going to come back for the car. So they never got anything else, they never got money. We just said, whatever, keep it. It's not worth doing that, it's not worth them trying to get more money out of us, because they had raised the price of the items just for us to get them back. They obviously couldn't get onto them, passwords were on everything, so they couldn't do it. And then we just, like, the reason they was able to ring my dad is because I was playing on my mum's phone the night before, and I'd left it downstairs because I was playing games on it, and obviously if I hadn't left it downstairs that wouldn't have got taken, but unfortunately it did. So it was just not a great time. I was scared all the time. I was scared, oh, they're gonna come back, they're gonna see me walking to school, they're gonna go into the house. We had the locks changed, everything was changed. Fast forward to now, we moved house. We moved out about 3 years after getting robbed, and since then I have found out that that house has been robbed another 2 times since we have moved into our new house. So it could be the same person, obviously, just could be, you never know, or they know a way in and they figured a way in, and yeah, that's it really. But it was scary, like someone being in your home that you don't know, you're asleep, you're vulnerable. They could have done anything, but thankfully they didn't. So it was lucky that nothing happened apart from them just taking our things, because something couldn't happen to any of us, me or my brother, my mum or my dad, but we were all fine. They just took the stuff and left. So there was a lady who owned a corner shop at the end. She like took in second-hand items, and we went there because she had cameras, but the camera didn't reach as far distance as our house. Our house was the 9th one along, and there was obviously houses before that, so that really couldn't reach our house to see who it was or what happened or how they got in. So unfortunately we never found out who they were, and obviously they've never been prosecuted for it. So, but yeah, that's my story. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with another one shortly. Thank you.